What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to tonight's late night Anfield Agenda news roundup. But we're going to be talking about the quite frankly sublime and the ridiculous. So we'll go through it all over the next few minutes. We're going to be speaking about Xavi Simons. We're going to be speaking about Chiesa and a move back to Serie A. We're also going to be talking about Kevin Kelleher's future and a few other interesting bits and pieces over the next few minutes. You know the score. I want to know your thoughts, so feel free to let me know in the comment section. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it, and most importantly, we would love you to hit that subscribe button. Obviously, we know Liverpool are just 3 points away from another Premier League title. In fact, that's not even necessarily true. We might not even need to win another game if Arsenal were to lose against Crystal Palace midweek. We will be doing a watch along of that game on Wednesday if you want to come and join us for it. But personally, I'd like to see the Reds do it at Anfield in front of a packed house next Sunday against Spurs. Let's get into the news and a little bit around Xavi Simons. So this piece here from Romano said Xavi Simons plans for a potential summer move as a concrete possibility as reported weeks ago. Premier League clubs are informed as it's the most likely destination for a fee of around €75 million to RB Leipzig. Xavi dreams to play for Barca one day, but it's unlikely for this summer. This type of stuff winds me up something fierce. So you want that Premier League money to come in, but you want to piss off the Barca in the future. If you were good enough, Barca go and buy you now. So this is another one of those Romano nonsensical twerking for Spanish clubs weird comment. And I also would add in, I don't think he's worth €75 million, Xavi Simons. I would far more prefer us to look at Ryan Cherky for like a whole lot less, maybe about €50 million less. So let Xavi Simons go elsewhere would be my guess, especially at that price. And definitely knowing that he wants to go to Barca someday. Bye-bye, no thanks, pass. Maybe you think differently. Let me know in the comments. Right, so speaking about Chiesa, a piece here said Chiesa is also liked by Antonio Conte, who's reportedly expressed an interest in bringing him to Napoli. Much still depends on Antonio Conte's future, though, as there are suggestions the coach could leave amid links to Juventus and Milan. According to reports in Italy on Easter Sunday, there are a handful of different options that could be available to Chiesa heading into the summer transfer window. The whole thing about Chiesa has been a really frustrating one for us Liverpool fans because nobody has anything bad to say about Federico. It's all down to why was he bought and why isn't he being used. And as I've mentioned so many times, for us fans hearing that our wage bill is high and every penny counts and Liverpool have to box clever, and then seeing a player brought in who the managers refused to even put in the matchday squad on some occasions on roughly £7 million a year in wages and a transfer fee, along with agents' fees, tax, VAT, and all the other stuff, hardly looking after every penny, is it? And again, it's taken up a place in the squad that if the manager doesn't want to utilise them, somebody else could have. So you got to ask, who made this decision? What's gone wrong? And when are we going to get some honesty about the situation from the club? Because the silence around Arna and Chiesa is deafening, to be honest. I just don't know of any other thought process other than he's a player who he didn't want, who somebody else signed, and he's trying to make a point. That's the only thing I can think of. Moving on to a situation around a couple of Liverpool players and moves to Saudi Arabia. A report from TBR Football said the Saudi Pro League are ready to make a double move on Liverpool's forward line this summer. TBR Football is told that Diaz, like Nunez, would be open to a move to the Middle East. The shift in willingness from the players may ease negotiations and accelerate Liverpool's ability to act decisively in the market. The Diaz situation is definitely a strange one. He has hardly stunk the gaff up at Liverpool. In fact, I'd say he's been a decent enough player, always works hard. But there's been this talk of him leaving for probably 18 months now. Some stories around last year, Liverpool been been willing to utilise him as a make weight in a deal. And now more talk of moving on. So whatever you or other fans seem to think, this narrative isn't going away. And it looks like Diaz could move on. And like that piece suggests, I do hope that Liverpool are decisive in whatever the transfer business they want to do this summer is. And I get a sneaking suspicion that if we lose Trent and if we lose Diaz and if we are to sell Elliott, we may see Liverpool revisit Anthony Gordon as part of that, the homegrown quota that we need to fill, and of course a position that we may need to fill. I keep coming back to the fact that Harvey Barnes is starting ahead of Gordon at the minute at Newcastle, so maybe he is available this summer? Let me know your thoughts on that one. This piece here said Nico Williams emerges as a priority target. It goes on to say that one piece mentioned in connection with Liverpool is Nico Williams. The Athletic Club winger, aged just 22, has attracted strong interest from across Europe thanks to his electric pace, ability to play on both flanks and consistent end product. Valued at about €70 million by Football Transfers, he hasn't gone under the radar. Now, for me, there's every chance Premier League clubs will be in for Nico Williams. I just get the feeling that Arsenal would have an easier time of convincing him with Arteta, and his background in that part of the world. And I just get the feeling it would be more likely than Liverpool. And also, I don't think Liverpool would pay what it would take to get him out. And he's on very high wages already there at Athletic Club Bilbao because they pay their top players a good bit of money to keep them there because they don't really spend on transfer fees. So I'd love Nico Williams, but I just don't think it's a realistic option. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comment section. Do you think he makes a move from Athletic Club in this window? And where do you think he moves to? Now, I did promise you the sublime to the ridiculous. And we're going to end with the ridiculous. And it's a suggestion from former Liverpool goalkeeper David James, who's speaking about Kellaher. And, well, this is what he's had to say. Kellaher has a calmness about him. He's unflappable. He's won trophies, which is a major thing. He knows how to get into those positions to win trophies. He's been involved in penalty shootouts, all the stuff that you want from a top goalkeeper. If Liverpool needed to move a goalkeeper on, and Man City might need one, you probably wouldn't even have to relocate because it's only 45 minutes down the road. You don't often see moves like that between two title rivals, but I think this one could benefit all parties. I'm lost. How exactly would it benefit Liverpool? Because we can get money for Kellaher from anywhere. You could get money from Newcastle maybe, certainly Chelsea. You could get money from Celtic maybe. You could get money from abroad. Why would we want to strengthen Manchester City's hand? I just don't see this one. I actually couldn't believe it when I first seen this from David James. Obviously, David James has represented both clubs as well, but I just don't get it. I think he's way off on that one. And honestly, I don't want Kellaher going to Man City. I don't mind where else he goes, but Manchester United, Man City, no thank you. And let me know what you guys think about that. I'm almost certain it's not going to happen, but it was one of the more ridiculous things or comments that I've read from a former player around the situation. So let me know what you think. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for tonight's Late Night News Roundup. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll be here 8:45 with the Late Night Agenda. Then we look ahead, of course, to a massive week for the club where, all going well, we will be crowned Premier League champions and league title number 20 will be on its way to Anfield. Appreciate your support as always, and we'll catch up with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.